All right, my beautiful friends, here we go. It is Monday, January 20th, 2020. This is my newest segment of Markets, a look ahead. The equity markets are closed today, so I kind of get a day off, but I like to get these things out for all of you. So let's talk. Um, People, the stage is set right now for this market to continue moving higher. New record highs will be hit repeatedly moving forward. Now, that does not mean, again, that this market's not going to wave around a little bit. It's a random walk with an upward drift. But right now, there is zero, and I mean nothing, standing in the way of this market moving higher. And the setup right now, and we're going to cover this more, is for this market to move much higher. Understanding that, again, don't just take my word for it, but we heard again from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, explaining that there is a global economic slowdown underway, which includes the United States. This means stocks will go up. I know how twisted that sounds, but again, what's driving this freaking market? Massive debt expansion. That's it. The final solution, the grand plan collectively of the world central banks, none more so than the Federal Reserve, who continues to pump hundreds upon hundreds of billions of dollars into the debt market every single day. We're talking trillions of dollars here. That's what's supporting this market. That's what's going to drive this market moving forward. Of course, we're going to get negative rates. I don't care what's coming out of the mouth of Fed officials, Fed presidents, yellow stain, dark, ugly, disgusting, stinking yellow stain himself. You know to whom I am referring. Yeah, Fed Chair Powell. They're going negative. The president's been calling for negative rates. It almost seems like time immemorial now, and calling for a weaker dollar. The dollar, let's talk about the dollar real quick. The dollar has been kind of stuck at the high end of a range for quite a while. In my opinion, a lot of effort is going to be put forth to weaken the dollar moving forward. This is an effort to allow, not just to allow, to bring about an environment where the corporations can reap windfall profits overseas. Again, why? The weaker dollar is extremely positive for the corporations, the multinational corporations that run the world, along with the Fed. This is the military-industrial complex. You know that. You don't matter. Is a weaker dollar good for you? Well, if you think paying more for everything is good for you, well, then I guess it is. But no, of course it's not good for you. A stronger dollar, a dollar with purchasing power, is where you want to be. But a lot of effort is going to be put forth to continue to rob the middle class blind. Again, people at the lower rung, sadly, they don't matter in this environment. It's the middle class that greases this machine, this hideous machine, with their blood, guts, literally, by being forced to participate in endless wars. And despite the fact that the president didn't get us into a new war, there are thousands of conflicts around the world right now going on involving the military machine, the might of the United States. Look it up for yourself. You're not supposed to know about this stuff, but it's going on right now. All right. Now let's talk about this market moving forward into next week. Again, the stage is set for the stock market to move higher. We're going to go over some charts in a minute, but I want you to bear with me here. Record high after record high is coming as the Fed continues to expand the debt on an unprecedented scale. And the silence here is deafening. You will not hear any of this from any of the Democratic hopefuls for president, nor the president himself. Won't happen. Elizabeth Warren tried to bring this out to the public, and she was silenced. They can't talk about it. Again, it's the mechanism here that really is running the show. Neither cult, neither the Democratic cult nor the Republican cult run the country. And presidents are not elected. If you believe you have the power to choose the next president, you are lost. And you're stuck in the delusion that they have rammed not just down your throat, but into your psyche. You have no such power whatsoever. President Trump will win the next election. He's already been selected to do so. He has made more capital, more cash for the banks, for the military-industrial complex than any president before him in history. And this is no surprise to you, because when President Trump was elected, I was probably the first guy on the planet who came out publicly to say that the stock market was going to vault higher. And that's exactly what it has done. And it will continue to do so for the foreseeable future until they're ready for the transfer of wealth on a grand scale, because that's all this is. The bought and paid for fake government being ruled by the central banks are serial bubble blowers. They deliberately inflate bubbles. They deliberately deflate bubbles. When they deflate bubbles, that's when the transfer occurs. All the people who have put their cash into an investment instrument that only makes cash when the market goes up, whoever came up with that, obviously it's the banks. They take advantage of it by shorting the entire market, just like they do every single time, just like they did at the last meltdown. Oh yeah, and maybe some of them will pay an insignificant fine like Goldman Sachs. I think they paid a $6 million fine for betting against their own clients, but they must have made hundreds upon hundreds of billions, if not $1 trillion. I have no idea what they must have made, but it must have been astronomical. So they left. This is the cost of business. And again, you grease the wheels if you're a member of the middle class. Let's talk about crude oil real quick. Actually, you know what? Hold that thought with regard to crude oil. We're going to talk about that when we go look at some charts. So what we're going to do now, collectively, all right, we're going to go over this together. Open a new window. Go to traderschoice.net. There is a link in the description of this video if you just happen to be watching this on YouTube. But if you don't see that link, open a new window, traderschoice.net. We're going to go over there. As a matter of fact, you should be watching these videos directly on my website, traderschoice.net. I know a lot of you don't like to for whatever reason, but it's there. So open up that window. I'm going to meet you over there. Here we go. Okay, so this is my brand new lovely website. I hope all of you are enjoying this. I've gotten an enormous amount of feedback. People seem to really like it. Let us scroll down. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Here's my video. My newest market report video. All right, and anyway, let's scroll down. Go to my 1, 2, 3 boom charting system below. There's not another easier system on the planet Earth. And if you don't know how to use it, you see where it says click here? Click on that. Yeah, click on it right now. New window just opened up, tells you how to use it. Now, we're going to leave it as is for now. I have this set up for ticker SPY. This is the exchange traded fund. Or the ETF that tracks the S&P 500. Now, forget about the chart if you don't know how to read it. Just go to the right side. What do we got here? Details. Shows you the day range. It shows you the 52-week range. And then the recommendation, buy. You see that? Okay. I want to go over crude oil real quick, which I just alluded to a moment ago. So I want you to go to where it says SPY and put in ticker USO, enter. United States Oil Fund. Okay. Now, if you look at the details here, it does say that, according to the boom system, that this is a sell. In my opinion, if you look at the chart, you see that big sell-off we had? I think we're bottoming out here. I really do. So be cautious with this, but I see a bottom. We see crude oil getting bid up higher People, I can't tell you how important crude oil is to this market. I go over it constantly and people still are baffled by it. I don't understand why they don't get it. Crude oil. Get it into your thick head if you have one. The lifeblood of the military-industrial complex. It will be propped up. The price of crude oil has no bearing on reality. It should be less than half of where it is today. That should tell you where we are. But crude oil will be propped up. They prop up crude. It boosts the entire energy sector. It boosts the entire financial sector. The two largest sectors of the market, stocks go up. This is what they do. This is the mechanism. So despite the fact that this is saying a sell and this boom system is insanely accurate, I'm going to say we're bottoming out here. Now, if we recall, before we move away from this chart, we heard 2 times last week the President Donald Trump, praising the banks, talking about windfall profits and how the banks are doing phenomenal. His words, literally, tremendous, he said. Sorry, he used the word tremendous. Well, I put out a buy recommendation on the banks, and I want you to look at 2 things. You just put in ticker USO. I want you to put in GS and click enter. Look at this trend. Looking at the chart here that Goldman Sachs has been in, it's a screaming uptrend. Now, let's look here at the details. What do you see? Buy. Okay, let's put in JPM, enter. Specifically, this was the main bank that President Donald Trump praised for being tremendous with their windfall profits. Windfall profits from these banks, and they are creating debt slaves on an industrial scale. And our president is playing right into it. Why do you think? Because he is the spokesperson for the military-industrial complex. This country, no country, is ruled by presidents, kings, queens, or monarchs. It's controlled by the banks. This should tell you something. Now here, JP Morgan, we got a screaming buy signal in my opinion. Anyway, look at this. Now let me show you one more thing. Let's scroll all the way down to the bottom. Let's go past my Lions chat room. I love my Lions. I really do. Scroll down. Now if you see here my stock screener, you can scroll around on this. I'm going to tell you the best way to use this stock screener. Let's say, for example, you're looking at Apple, which is right at the top with a buy signal. Well, although you're getting a buy here on my stock screener, let's see what the boom system says. You got Apple right here. Let's go back up to the boom system. Let's put in ticker AAPL. AAPL, enter. Look at this. The boom system agrees that this is a buy. So you have, not only do you have a suggestion from my stock screener, 100% free, find another one, okay? You got a confirmation here. So, look, I can't make this any easier for all of you people. It's impossible. And this is free stuff. Take advantage of it. Honestly, please take advantage of this. If you're not, you're probably on the losing end of this, and I don't want anybody to lose. So let's close this page. So here we are, people. You can expect several things to take place. An unbelievable, epic, beyond belief debt expansion to occur. And this is a collective effort by the world central banks. Negative rates are coming. We already have negative rates in real terms. People here in the United States that have an interest earning account, their interest earning accounts are not even, the rate of return is not even keeping up with the actual rate of inflation that's negative. You understand? But we're going deeper into the negative. This is a mechanism to rob the middle class, to force them to prop up the stock market. It's an incredible thing. Weaker dollar, in my opinion, is still coming down the pike here. That's the end game, part of it as well. Crude oil, you know my take on it. It's going to be propped up by any mechanism they can think about, bombings, attacks, false flags, jawboning, whatever it is. It will be propped up to, again, foster the fake environment that we're in. All right, with that said, I think this video has been important. Please share this video. I'm counting on you. Again, we are a team. This is not my thing. This is our thing. Let's get more people into the pride. And the only way we can do it is by getting these videos out here. We're all going to win. We know what to do from every single angle. That's what this is all about. You know that. If you are an intraday trader like myself, you know exactly what to do. Even if you're a swing trader, I mean, If you want to go back to the boom system, that's more of a swing trading setup. It's so accurate. It's retarded. It really is. And you got crude oil, you know what to do. You got precious metals, the ultimate place to be, in my opinion. Physical silver, cryptocurrencies, you should be holding them. Betting against this debt, becoming your own central bank. Again, I can't imagine a guy out here who's outlined all of this for you like me. And not just that, has called this market better than 90%. Better than 90% for as far back as I can remember now. And you don't believe me? If you're new here, ask any of my lions or the people that follow my blog. And I'm very proud to say that that's the truth. And I'm not tooting my own horn. I work hard at this around the clock. And do you know who I do that for? Not for me. For you. This guy loves you. Share the video. I'll see you in the morning. It's going to be lovely.